Another increasingly controversial topic in the news is education, particularly education standards that the Obama administration is said to be trying to impose on the states. And here to discuss that is Emmett McGroarty of the American Principles Project. Welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
Now, somewhere around 40 states have already signed up for these national standards known as the Common Core standards, and they did so in conjunction with applying for Race to the Top federal education dollars. But you say that that was a mistake for states to take this step. Why is that?
Well, states signed on to this. It's essentially a house of cards. States signed on to them before the standards were developed and before the assessments were developed, which are aligned with the standards.
These are math and English standards?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so they never had a chance to evaluate them, but to compete for the race to the top, they had to commit to those standards before they saw the product.
Now, you've been urging states to reverse course here, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this includes, some conservative governors and conservative politicians. Chris Christie has signed on to this. Jeb Bush, the former governor of Florida, is in favor of them. Why have these folks been misled? These are pretty sophisticated politicians.
Again, I think they signed on to it. They thought it sounded good. They were sold a bill of goods that is something other than what they were represented to be. They were told that these standards were internationally benchmarked. They're not internationally benchmarked. In fact, the owners of the standards, the developers and owners of them, don't call them internationally benchmarked anymore. We were told that they would be high quality standards. They're not high quality standards. They're
How do you address the problem that proponents of these standards say the standards are needed to address? First, they mention international competitors, students in other countries that have national standards that perform better than U.S. kids on these international tests. The other thing they point to is states setting easy standards so that their kids score high on tests. They say that isn't right. They say that math in Alabama is no different from math in Connecticut, and that there's no reason why we shouldn't have a national standards because we can't trust states to set meaningful standards on their own.
These standards are not high quality. They're mediocre at best, and the English language standards are based on a philosophy that is contrary to our founding. But when they say the states can't be trusted, what they're saying is that parents can't be trusted. Parents can't be trusted with the upbringing of their children. Essentially,
but states have done this. We know that states have set meaningless standards under No Child Left Behind to comply with the law.
Yes, yes. What happened there is states started relaxing the cut scores, but they did so in reaction to the heavy hand of the federal government under No Child Left Behind. So what we do, we've identified a problem there, federal intrusion into state education. The solution to that is not more federal government, it's less federal government.